Welcome to the Milan Area Chamber Featured Business of the Month, where this month we're featuring Jones Insurance. I'm Matt West.
I'm Dave Baldwin.
And I'm Heather Gotts.
Can you tell us a little bit about Jones Insurance and what services you provide?
We provide insurance services for all types of insurance other than health insurance. So auto, home, business, life, recreational vehicles, motorcycles, all of that.
Can you tell us about how the business got started and what inspired the original owners to open in Milan?
I don't know what inspired the original owners, but that was Grant Jones in 1937, and then his son Ethan Jones took it over. In the 80s, early 80s, Don Kleinschmidt purchased the agency, and then when Don was ready to retire, January of 2019, I took it over.
What sets Jones Insurance apart from other agencies in this area?
I would say service. We submit our own claims. We're a liaison in between the claims adjusters and the customers. That helps a lot. We try to educate the customers on the coverages so that they can make informed decisions on what they're purchasing and they understand a little bit more about insurance than you do by reading the paperwork.
How long have you been a part of the Milan business community? Grant started it when?
1937. I've been here since 1997.
Is this the oldest business in town?
At one time, I think it is, because Schultz Motors was one of the oldest ones with Grant in the 30s. And then, I think it probably is one of them.
What's your favorite part about working and doing business in Milan?
I would say the small town friendliness, being right here on Main Street, being close to home. That helps the travel too. But definitely the friendly downtown atmosphere. How
do you see your role in helping local families and businesses protect what matters the most?
It comes down to educating the customer. You know, so many people have no idea what all these insurances coverages are for. So it's really about educating them and taking the extra time so that they can understand what they're purchasing and what their decisions are based on.
How has being a member of the Milan Area Chamber of Commerce benefited your business?
Well, I was on the chamber board for about 9 years. Don, the prior owner, he used to be the treasurer of the chamber back when I started here. He was always very involved in the community as well as I am. We like the networking aspect of it, just learning things about other business owners and community events.
Can you share a memorable success story or experience that a client said that reflects what your business is about?
One that comes to mind is when we had the trees that fell down and everybody was out of power here for a week. We were still able to operate. You know, we could use our phones, we could work from home. The phone was always on. So like, for example, Aiden Milan had the tree that fell on their building, and at that time, they couldn't get any tree service companies to come out and help unless you had a claim number. And because so many businesses had no power, they didn't have that capability of submitting those claims to where we could go online, we could submit the claim, we could call it in, whichever we needed to do, get them a claim number, and then they got somebody out there right away that first day to get that tree taken care of. And she said had they not had that, they wouldn't have been able to, they would have been on a waiting list like everybody else. So things like that I think are important, you know, when you're dealing with claims. Obviously, that's what insurance is here for. You know, for the event that there's a loss, you want to make sure you're there to help that customer.
What do you think is the biggest challenge serving your customers in the insurance world?
People think that insurance is a rip-off until they need it. They don't understand that you might be paying $1,500 for your home, but you could get $1 million of coverage between everything that happened in a fire. You know, they don't see that. People want cheap insurance, the minimum possible, until the time something happens, and then they want to know why they didn't have that coverage. So that's why it's important to educate.
Tell us a bit about your team. Who will customers be working with when they come in?
If they're coming in for business commercial insurance, that would be myself. If they're coming in for home and auto, personal type insurance, that would be Connie Dotson. Myself and Connie both also do life insurance. Connie's been here 20 years. She's our personal lines manager. Kim Brantley, she is our team leader and an agent as well for personal lines.
Is there anything else you would like to share with the Milan community?
We are coming on 50 years this year, being appointed by Hastings Mutual. We are at 85 years, being appointed with Auto Owners Insurance Company. And Citizens, we're on 77 years with them and almost 20 years with Foremost. All of our main companies are all Michigan-based companies.
What advice would you give to other small business owners in Milan?
Customer service, for sure. No matter how big or small the client is, I think everyone deserves the same respect and attention.
Where can people find you and learn more about your services? Do you have a website, phone number, social media?
We have Facebook. We are on there as Jones Insurance. Our phone number is 734-439-8844. Our website is myjonesinsurance.com. So myjonesinsurance.com.
Thanks to Jones Insurance for being the featured business of the month.